Hey, how are you guys? So today we have the new Micromax Unite 2. It's also called the Micromax A106. Now this is one of those devices that are like kind of India centric, that gives much emphasis on localization as far as language is concerned. So there you can see all the languages on this packet here. So the USP of this device is it supports 20 regional languages. So there's 20 regional languages plus English, of course, so that makes it 21 total languages. So you can write in them, you can save your phone numbers and people name in your phone number app and stuff. So a largely localized phone centered in India. It's also an entry-level phone, so that also should appeal to a large audience here in India. So let's go ahead and check out the box first. So it's a pretty flat, nice looking hard cardboard box. That's the phone there. Again, it looks pretty usual. We're gonna show that to you in a bit. Nothing much on this front. Behind you have the quick specs. It's powered by 1.3 GHz quad-core processor. You see, supports 3G, a 4.7-inch IPS display, 480 by 800 pixels of resolution, 1GB RAM, 4GB ROM. It supports a micro SD card up to 32GB, and that's why that's marked. 5MP autofocus camera, back camera, 2MP fixed focus front, your frequency bands, and then plays as well as records HD videos. KitKat, that's another good thing, another probably selling point of this device. Runs the latest Android version, GPS and 2000 mAh battery. You get all these 4 colors. Yeah, we have the black version here, and if you look closely, the MRP is written here is 8499, but I've seen it on about 7750 on Amazon.in, which translates to about $128 US. Yeah, but then you won't get it in US or in UK, so it's not available on Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk, mainly because this phone is made in India for India mainly. So let's go ahead and open the box and show you what's in there. So on top, as usual, you get the phone, 4.7-inch phone here. So you're gonna come back to the phone just in a bit. Let's check out. So you have your user guide here. There you see that's the code number, the model number rather, A106. Then you have some other JS apps and stuff, SAR information, your warranty card, and that nicely tucked in this packet here are all the cords and other stuff. So you have round pin USB adapter there. To go with it, you have this micro USB 2.0 port. So let's show you then. You see, so micro USB 2.0, and then your earphones. So let's just quickly show you how the earphones look like here. So you have the mic, call controls and stuff, but no volume control here. They are also not in-ear type, though they are your standard earphones and silver plated audio jack. So that's about it about the content of the packet. It's usual, however we like the overall look of the packet. The Micromax Unite 2 A106 is not exactly featherlight, but then it just about weighs okay, so that's fine. 4.7-inch device, it has large real estate to cover, so we understand. So it weighs just right, but then not exactly your lightweight phone. It's all plastic. You can see, I'm just gonna take this thing off so you can see the glossy front. It's very glossy, so it's gonna attract your fingerprints and smudges. There you see a lot of those. However, the back side has this nice rubber coating that gives a very good grip when you're holding this phone. And 4.7-inch is not exactly too big for your palm, so it's quite okay. You can easily operate this phone with one hand. However, even the rubber coating here gets some scratches. There you see all those scratches, and it will also attract oils and stuff, but it's relatively less attractive to the fingerprints and smudges than on the screen here. So that 4.7 inch screen, 480 by 800 pixel, as I told you, that translates to under 200 ppi of color density, which is rather low. On top you have the earpiece, your proximity sensors and a notification light, and then you have your 2MP fixed focus camera. Below you have the shortcut keys, you see menu, home and back button. Nothing much on this side. On this side you have the mouthpiece right here. Here you have a very slight hole to open the back flap, your power button, the volume rocker, and on top you have the micro USB 2.0 port and the 3.5mm jack. Behind you have the 5MP autofocus camera accompanied by an LED flash, the brilliant Micromax logo, one of my personal favorites by the way. And then you have the speaker grills out there. Now they try to give a very slight bump in here, but that's totally not enough, so I suspect the audio sound output when you keep this on a flat surface is gonna be obstructed, but then we'll have to see that. So I'll quickly open the back flap and show you. This back flap is quite tough and thick, so no worries there. You have the 2000 mAh battery, dual SIM, one is a full SIM, one is a micro SIM, which is a thoughtful thinking, because if you're coming from a flagship for example, and or your phone is like all micro SIM and stuff, then you can use only this slot. If full SIM, then this slot. It also supports micro SD card up to 32 GB. So that's about it. A nice partitions here. So this part is like rubber, and then you have the glass going around here. So it's a pretty usual design. I'll tell you, nothing out of box, nothing out of ordinary, nothing that you haven't seen before. But well, at this price point, it's quite good, quite decent looking phone. Yeah. The Unite 2 is powered by Android 4.4.2 KitKat, which is another selling point of this device, at least Micromax thinks so. And that's the unlock screen. You can drag the notification bar here, that way you can straight away go to the camera, and then that's pretty much really. You cannot add a widget at this point. So you unlock here, and you also have Micromax's very light skin on top of the default Android ROM. So basically the look of the icons and apps you see are different, are quite playful and nice, but then at the core of them you'd basically see the same stock Android interface. So first let's check out the display one. So it has 199 ppi of display, a 4.7 inch with a 480 by 800 pixels display. So you can see there all the icons are pixelated. Of course you're not going to look at the phone from this distance, but then you just get an idea of the display. It's pretty pixelated. So it's a relatively low-res screen. Yeah, now so let's check out the display, the color rendition and all. So this is our color card, that's the actual color card that we took the picture of, and we'll show the display and how it renders the colors and stuff. So you can see the orange and the red, it renders the colors almost perfectly. The saturation and hue are perfect, they are not at all overdone. The pink is slightly lighter here, but almost that's about it. So very nicely rendered colors here. The viewing angle are also very good, being an IPS display. Damn good really. Yeah. So let's check out a video just to prove our point that the display, despite of being a low-res one, is actually quite good. So we're gonna play a 720p video. It's an auto brightness, and again the viewing angles are quite good. But despite of being an IPS display, you see, because of the glossy screen, at some point of time the reflection takes over. Of course you can go here, you can go to the notification bar here, and then you can increase the brightness from auto to, let's say, max, and your pictures will become brighter, but then you see the colors are just kind of washed out. Yeah, but otherwise no fuzziness, no discoloration whatsoever, but then colors are slightly washed off there. See, clips the highlight a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and show you how the display looks like at the least brightness, and see it's pretty okay really. Do not bad at the least brightness. So this is gonna save you a lot of battery. So overall the display quality is pretty decent, more than decent really, despite of being a low res display. Now let's go ahead and show you the interface a bit. So you get to this home screen, and we found only two home screen. You cannot add or remove any home screen here, not from the settings here, and we did not find adding the home page on the settings. Also notification bar come down from here, and I showed you before that's the quick function toggle bar. Yeah, your app dock is customizable. You can drag it on top of any other app to create a folder, and that's how you can add your wallpapers and widgets and settings. You can do the same by long pressing on the empty space on the home screen. So long pressing on the menu key will take you to the recent app menu, and there is no close all button. Long pressing on home screen will take you to Google Now, and that's about it. Double tapping here or long pressing on the back button does not do anything. Then you have the app dock. So you'll see that pretty much Google's default Android apps that you see on most of the Android devices. You have Chrome, Drive and Gmail, Google Plus, YouTube, Play Store and Google Photos and whatnot. You also have some of Micromax's in-house app. Now most of those are actually shortcut to the browser. For example, M Game or for example M Live here. So they are basically shortcuts that's gonna open on the browser and show you some free content that Micromax has to offer, and that's the Mad app. So it basically shows you some advertisements when you do various transactions. For example, while you're calling, just before calling you can watch an ad, and in return it gives you some benefits, some talk time benefits or some other balance benefits and stuff. Apart from those, you also have some quick games like Marble here, and then you also have this Burn the Rope, some basic games, Smash It and all, and then also some popular third-party apps like, let's say, Kingsoft Office or Hike, Opera Mini, yeah, and those kind of stuffs. It's pretty smooth, the phone, the layout, and we've been using it for almost 3 weeks now, and we actually hardly observed any lag. You cannot use it for very heavy multitasking, like you cannot have 50 apps open on the background and do another task in the same speed as now, because they see all the tasks are pretty much like I can delete them from here. So even if you have a lot of apps open on the background, it lags at times, but for everyday usage you won't feel that lag at all. We almost never face the lag at almost any transaction. So that's quite nice, quite a tightly knit user interface. Let's go ahead and quickly show you some of the apps now. So you have the dialer, I see a pretty big dialer there, and let's show you the keyboard. So that's keyboard. You see it also becomes pretty comfortable in the landscape as well. Now talking about the USP of this device, it supports 21 languages, 20 of them Indian and English. So the main thing is here, and that only extends to the keyboard and not to the UI element. So how do you change the language? Long press on the space key, and there you see all the languages are listed here, and you can simply go ahead and change from here, and there you see your keyboard becomes Hindi. And note that only the keyboard becomes Hindi and not your UI element, but that's pretty convenient, especially in the let's say low developed areas where English is not very prevalent. There is a need for this localization. Now this is not the first device to bring this localization. This is not the first device to have many Indian languages built in. There are other devices. There are the Galaxy devices, then there are a lot of other devices, some HTC devices as well, Sony devices, but then 20 language is, I think, one of the highest number that you would find on any device, and we should give credit for that to the Unite 2. Then we have the browser. I'm gonna show you some of the stuffs here. It renders the web pages pretty perfectly. And you see we've opened the nationalgeographic.com, and you're gonna see that the rendering is also pretty quick. The web pages rendering is perfect. The scrolling is not exactly smooth, but yeah, it's not significant, you see. And pinching zoom is supported, again with some lag, a little haphazard. You can also double tap, yeah. And then you can also check out our HTML5 score. So it scored about 448 out of 555, which is more than average really. It has the usual browser settings and stuff, so you can request desktop side, you can save web pages offline, and then your usual settings. The camera has a pretty usual Micromax interface. So you have this shooting mode here, so that's auto, and then you have some live photo mode, and your portrait mode, face beauty, that's portrait and panorama mode and whatnot. You have your HDR, yes or not, then I can straight away go to normal again, and then your flash settings, and that's how you can change between the front and the back camera. So you'd see that it takes some time, but there's not much lag. However, it takes about a second. Also start recording from here, and then you can click stills during video recording, which is always a good thing, always welcome. And then all the usual settings, the continuous shot, 5 megapixel max, yeah, ISO goes up till 1600, video, so it records a max 720p video, yeah. And the picture are fairly detailed under enough light. In fact, it's good. I mean, it's better than many of the similarly priced devices, even at 100%. You cannot of course take a printout of those. 5 MP is pretty low res, but then they are perfectly web uploadable. They're perfectly uploadable to Flickr, Facebook or Twitter, those kind of places. And under low light the phone shows some noise. However, till about ISO 400 it is quite fine. When you go above ISO 800, only at that point you start to see some noise. So you have the LED flash here, which will assist you during low light. Make sure you use that wisely. The videos are similar to the stills. Under enough light there are no fuzziness, the color renditions are perfect, no discoloration. The metering is also quite decent. However, low light, due to the very small sensor, you see a lot of noise and stuff. And what else? The usual apps, your FM radio, and then the gallery, pretty much usual. You can select multiple file and you can share via all these means. You can also go inside one photo or video, let's say a photo, and then you can edit them just like you can do on the default Android ROM. So no difference from there, only the icon faces are mainly different. You have Kingsoft Office and your music app. Now let's check out the sound output. So there are two things. First of all, the sound is not loud enough. There is fair amount of bass. The treble is also slightly low, but then it's just not loud enough for outdoor. Number two is that the sound gets obstructed when you keep on a flat surface because of the speaker grill situated right on the back. See? Not much, but then when the sound is not already loud, and then also some of those getting obstructed, so it ends up being a little pretty low sound output. So that's the music. Now we're gonna check out the video to see how the sound output is there. So we've shown you the video during our display section. We're gonna play a full HD video just to see how it plays the full video as well, full HD video as well. So the sound output is actually good for vocal, but it's again not loud enough.
I have received a message from that was my best.
We need to get to that tower without base.
So a decent quality sound, but then it suffers from the less speaker output. However, the sound output via the earphones are much better, but then again they are devoid of that ultimate bass. And what else? So those about the main apps. Really, apart from them, you have your FM radio and Get It, Games Club, File Manager, and all the usual app. You have Wi-Fi Direct and stuff. The call quality of this phone is excellent, and so is the reception. The gameplay performances are also pretty decent, and it most game pretty perfectly, nicely, seamlessly that way through on it. We've created a separate gaming video. You can choose to watch that. Yeah, so before the verdict, first of all, some good things and some bad things. Now, good thing is that it supports 20 Indian languages. Number two, it comes with Android KitKat, which is the latest version, and it's quite commendable for at this price point. And thank God there are all the competitors of Motorola coming up with KitKat, because Motorola probably introduced that first in this price category. Whatever, it's only the consumers gain. Then number three is that the 5MP camera here is an autofocus camera. The Moto E camera is not autofocus. That's also a 5MP camera, but that's not autofocus, which is a huge advantage of this guy over the Moto E. The priced are pretty similar here and there. There might be 1005 plus minus here and there depending on which place you're looking at, but the Unite 2 actually gives a head-on competition to the Motorola Moto E. Now the Moto E is slightly smaller. It's a 4.7 inch, that's a 4.3 inch. This guy is a lower resolution screen, but then we didn't find much problem with the screen here. And yeah, so the bad thing is mainly is the low internal specs, and well, the sound output is pretty average here, and then definitely the low res screen, particularly when you're looking at photos, and you like zoom in, then you would see the colors and everything becoming quite pale due to the spreading of pixels easily. The competitors, we already talked about the Moto E, and that's gonna be the main competition to this guy. There are other phones like the Nokia XL, for example. There are still other phones, even a Micromax's own canvas Win phone, the W121, that's going to be released in 9500 next month, and which is like a couple of thousand more than this. But there are a lot of devices at this price point, but this is actually one of the best among them, because this does not act like a cheap laggy device. It looks good, it feels good, it has a big enough screen, it has an autofocus camera, the latest Android operating system, and I personally could just prefer it over Motorola Moto E, mainly due to one particular reason: the autofocus versus the fixed focus camera of the Moto E. If you like this video, please hit the like button, please ask any related questions and we'll try to answer, and please subscribe to our channel for more such good and well researched content in future. Thank you.